For this week's Beatitude in our response, I chose to draw a human heart with thorns surrounding its equator and rays of light extruding from the heart in all directions. I'll show my drawing at the end of this video, but I'll just talk about it for now. Starting with the sixth Beatitude. The sixth Beatitude is, "Blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God." And in the drawing that I chose to draw, different aspects of the drawing can represent different things that in unison can be a good representation of the sixth Beatitude. The heart in my drawing represents like our own heart, our own spirit, our soul, etc. It represents ourselves. And next, the thorns in the heart, they represent the sins and attachments that we have towards the things of this world that we need to rid of to completely align our thoughts, words, and actions to God's will. And the rays of light extruding from the heart in all directions represent God's grace that comes after purification. And the light that extrudes from the heart in all directions, they act as a symbol of, like, quote unquote, seeing God or experiencing divine presence, which is what the sixth Beatitude promises. And the drawing as a whole can be seen as the whole process of purification, with the thorns being what we need to rid ourselves of, and the rays of light being purification and grace. And this drawing, it took me about an hour and a half to complete, with an hour of brainstorming beforehand. I have an initial sketch of the heart by itself, and then the finished product with the thorns, and then the lines of light extruding from all directions. And that kind of explains like the like what I started with and what I finished with, because I started with sketching out the heart with a pencil, and then after that I used a common technique that I like to use when I draw. I use my fingers and I smear pencil lead around the outer edges of the heart to create dimension and increase the amount of detail it has. And once that was done, I used a black marker to draw the thorns along the center of the heart. And then I also used that same black marker to trace along the outer edge of the heart. And I did that to connect the thorns to the heart itself. Otherwise, if I had just drawn the thorns by itself without tracing the heart, it would have looked like it was just overlapping rather than being one with the heart. And then I also added like small little pencil lines around different veins and arteries to add like dimension and life, rather than just the inside of the heart being just white. Now I will show you my art. So this is a picture of the initial heart. This was all done with pencil and the smearing technique that I used on the outer edges. And then if you can see closely, there's like small lines to create detail to the little veins and arteries. And I'm honestly pretty proud of the initial design. And then finally, we have the final product, where we have the thorns across the center, and then I traced it with black marker on the edges, so it looks like the thorns are on the same dimension as the heart. And then I have the lines of light extruding in all directions, showing God's grace and love.